into some more of the tea leaves here, because again, the noise surrounding this has been fun to watch. Again, because there was some radio silence saying Pitman loses atrociously to Notre Dame yesterday. I mean, gets absolutely worked. So that name obviously is going to be a name to watch out for in the next couple of days, whether or not he makes it to the end of the week. But there was Urban kind of kicked it off. I feel like kicked it off with his comments about the buyout, and I'll read what he said, and then we'll kind of go down this rabbit hole, and then we'll get into Spurrier. So Urban believes the buyout cost will save Napier's job at Florida. I don't see them making changes right now with $21 million. Where you're getting that money from, because that money's already distributed, the money's already accounted for. That was kind of, I think, what got all these things kick-started, and then people started writing and talk about it. It's almost like, okay, the wall has fallen. We can now comment on it. Then Andy Staples, who we had on our show last year, during this same time frame after the Texas A&M game where we had the bye, there was the ESPN report that the money was collected, like he was as good as gone, as essentially. And he came on our show. We talked to him about it. Again, Gator alum, well connected with the program. He's been very vocal about this as well. He says this: they had the money last year, which he came on the show and confirmed that. They had they have the smaller amount of money this year. Meaning they have, because it was more to buy him out last year than it is this year. So they had it to do it last year. They had it to do this year. So a complete contrast to what Napier said of like, that's not the problem at all. The money is not an issue here, is what Andy Staples was saying. Straight up. Which I think that should make us feel pretty good. And then even Jake Crane said, don't believe this to be true. Where Urban was coming from, I don't know. That's always an interesting one there to kind of, work through, I would say. Let's see here. Pete Thamel wrote an article. Says Pete Thamel explained how Florida head coach Billy Napier was given a lifeline due to Florida's instability surrounding its president on the College Game Day podcast. Thamel also criticized Napier's repeated refusal to hire an OC, noting it as one instance of many where he has self-sabotaged. Pete Thamel obviously was the one that would probably break the news if he were to be released. Last year, he was given a lifeline. We thought this was a dead man walking this time last year. He was given a lifeline by the admission. Interim president Scott Stricklin. The buyout was 25 plus million. It would have been the second biggest in college football history, they said. Hey, man, we're going to support you because you're doing everything right. Your players aren't getting arrested. Your program is being run well. We believe in what you're building, even though the results may not be there. That was the support from Stricklin last year. And again, we saw that kind of unfold, not necessarily behind the scenes as much as this, but that letter that came out says we're not going anywhere. We're going to double down. Here we go. I have seen some things, and we'll read about that in a minute, that there was pressure. He was encouraged to bring in an offensive coordinator to take the load off him. In particular, Thamel said, and he got some leverage at the end of the year, and he didn't do it. I don't know exactly what he's referring to. Let me read that again. And he got some leverage at the end of the year, and he didn't do it. Now he has left himself exposed. That's Billy Napier's fault. Billy Napier's unflappable belief in himself and his plan have let him alone on an island right now. I'm not saying if he hired an offensive coordinator and they stunk this bad, but he wouldn't be in the exact same spot. But I think he was given a lifeline and given some options to help protect himself, and he did not take them. Look, I think that it's $24.4 million, $10 million of which comes in 30 days. That will buy you a nice dinner at the Swamp or at Spurrier's. So nobody's going to cry for Billy Napier on the yacht there. But there was a path here, and he has now sort of hung himself. So, very interesting. Here we go. We got from Stadium and Gale. Nice little nugget here. The Roberts family is willing to spend a very large chunk of money to get Napier out of here. Last year, they offered half of the buyout. So if they're looking to spend a very large chunk, and they were willing to give half last year, which was short of just $15 million, maybe they're closer to the $18 million. Again, money does not seem to be an issue. This from everything, the noise that we're hearing, this is a Strickland-based issue. Where, again, and the comments there of like, hey, nobody's getting arrested. Things look good. It's all shiny. We sell tickets in the off season. It all sounds great. Like, sure, the product doesn't look good on the football field, but like 90% of the year, like, it looks good. Yeah, but the most important part of the year doesn't look good. And it feels like that's where Stricklin is not holding the feet to or not, sounds like he's not. I mean, it's evident that he isn't doing it. So even with this being the second highest buyout in college football history, there is plenty of people getting in line to lay down the wood, if you will, to get this man out of there. Now, there is a ton of talk that he's gone already, which is crazy. But here's some more things that were said too. Via ESPN, Ryan McGee says that he attended. Crazy how everybody's just now like on board. Like this is the political part of it, right? Because you've got to think all these people who have money, when money doesn't get the ball moving, you've got to play the political part of it because there's a standstill. And so you've got to start making people's image start to hurt because you can't affect their pockets. Like you're not affecting Stricklin's pockets. Well, how do you affect Stricklin? Well, it's got to be his image. That's the only way that you can hurt him at this point. Is if people around the program start speaking up of like, hey, this is how it's being ran, then he will be questioned more so than just a financial situation. And I think there's been plenty of data there, but the noise seems to be getting louder and louder, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if these people that are willing to throw money are now throwing money elsewhere to make this noise push faster. If anybody wants to throw money this way, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Ryan McGee says that he attended a private UF donor event last season, and the Florida Boosters reportedly planning to hire Lane Kiffin by the end of October. Scott shut all this down. All of it down. Again, this was via Saturday Down South. You take everything with the salt. Like I'm just reading things that are through other people's word of mouth. So it's interesting stuff. But it's wild to think about. Let's see here. $5. You think Urban made those comments as a manipulation so Florida can take some action as soon as possible? You know, I did actually. Thank you for reminding me because I did run that through my head of like, is this a political play from Urban? Is this a manipulation of like almost like you don't have the balls to do it? Maybe, like, okay, hey, they don't have the money, like that's why they're not doing it. And almost kind of, again, calling out the image part of it and almost kind of forcing their hand of like, no, we have the money. And then Urban can be like, oh, okay, so you can't afford to do this. You're just choosing to be choosing to be mediocre in this, right? And continue with the mediocrity that you have on the football field. Okay, interesting. Could be a play. From old Herb here. I don't know. Let's play this clip because it kind of coincide with that. Of him talking about the mediocrity at college football and at UF right now.
Stay at Florida because no one's making the coaching staff stay at Florida. If you know what I mean. There's plenty of places where you can go, and mediocrity is accepted, and Florida's not one of them. Ohio State's not one of them. And I would always tell myself that, but I would also, as I'm reminding myself that I'd share with our team, saying I will help you go wherever you want to go. Breaking news. If you don't like, this is too much for you. If it's too much for you, I'll sign your transfer papers right now and you can go. That includes our coaching staff. But as long as you're here, you're expected to be the very best in the country at what you do. If that does not fit your job description, you need to leave. And I'll help you. That does not make you a bad person. Pay your taxes, be a good guy, but get out of here. Because this is what's expected if you're not the very best in the country at what you do. So that would be my message to the Florida Gators.
Pretty straightforward. Take your money. I'll help you pay your taxes. Get up out of here. This ain't it. This ain't it. I look. The one thing I do love about Urban is given the fact that he continues to go on these podcasts, and look, if I don't mind that he's talking negatively now, but he's not talking negatively. He's talking positively of like, hey, this is not unacceptable. I do appreciate that. Sam Pitman, ladies and gentlemen, was just fired. Just announced by Pete Famel. Bobby Petrino will act as interim head coach. So there you have it. The writing was on the wall last night. I mean, you get absolutely just curb stomped by Notre Dame, who, again, is a team that I think is really, really good. Although they had 2 losses, I have talked very high on them. CJ Spiller, I think, looked fantastic. True freshman, by the way. Just looking absolutely phenomenal, throwing for four touchdowns and I think 300-plus yards. Dan, is he on the list? I know a lot of people liked him. Fran Brown goes down to Duke. What I do love about these lists is it's a week-to-week thing. Like, as soon as somebody loses, they're off the list. Like, it has to be perfection or we don't want you. Like, I love it. I mean, I get it, but it's like, Like, can we just hire someone before they make a fan base upset? You know what I mean? Like, look, like don't do something wrong. If you can. Boys and girls, it was 400 strong in here. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. Good to see all of you here, and happy to have you. But yeah, Sam Pitman was just released. Yeah, full circle moment for Bobby Petrino. Taking back the reins. Taking back look, a nice kind of you wonder too with FSU getting Gus Malzahn, like you bring in two offensive coordinators that have a phenomenal ability to take over, to take the reins over. Ron Roberts would be a great, whoever has him would also, I think, have that ability to take over a program if need be as well. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, interesting stuff here with all this unfolding with the Lane Kiffin and how things unfolded last year. It's a much bigger situation, and concerned with how things are going to roll next year on where this thing's going to be in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be hopefully a fluid like this list situation that we continue to keep an eye on as it as well.